bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging community.
Welcome to Today's America, Millennium News 24/7. This is Tofader from Millennium Studio in United States of America. Viewers, our top news today: United States Biden administration and Russian presidential administration, Putin administration, they are talking, they are doing diplomacy, also NATO. Right now, Biden and Putin, they're going to sit down someplace regarding Ukraine and Eastern Europe. This is good things. We like to see save the life. We don't like to see some country invade other country, So Biden administration working so hard for do this. But Ukrainian president blaming Biden administration. Ukrainian president blaming NATO's. What they have to do, So we have our regular guest, our network, our good friend for our network, George Otis. George, introduce yourself from our viewers, please.
Thank you, Noor. It's great to be back again. So yeah, I basically my work for about 15 years now has been to try to raise the financing to end climate change. We can create a system where we go shopping, and instead of the money from our products, our purchases, making rich people richer, this money can fund climate change. So I've been doing that, and I'm involved in a few other projects. Basically, if I'm working on it, it's designed to improve the world in major ways. Noor, yes, so you talked about what's happening with Ukraine, and that's great news. And when we try to understand what is happening, what has happened that has led to this diplomacy, my guess is that both sides are beginning to understand, Putin, Biden, everyone is beginning to understand that if they were to start a war, this war, any war, people would blame the rich. It's not Putin who's making these decisions. It's not Biden. It's the rich who control them. And I think our world is going through an awakening. Before in the past, they've been able to hide that. Now the rich can no longer hide from the consequences of what they do.
You know, Russian president today in Kremlin, they have a national council meeting. Also, Russian parliament, so-called Duma, they passed the bill to take over the Donbas area from Ukraine. And they talking about Russian speaking, over 800,000 people live there. And Ukraine killing them, genocide them. That's why Duma passed the bill to take over the, what is the call? Donbas area. Is good things or bad things,
Yeah,
George?
well, I mean, yeah, it is of course a bad thing for, again, any war to be happening anywhere. We need
Sound is not coming.
testing 1, 2.
Okay.
All right, so basically, Trump tested us. He did more and more outrageous things to see what we would do when he discovered that the Democrats were weak, they weren't willing to fight. He did more and more. Finally, he overreached with January 6th, and that ends that for him. But that's exactly what the Russians are doing. The Russians are seeing how much aggression can we get away with before they, fight, and then what will they do? I think they're realizing that we have much more resolve than they believed we have. So basically, the threats of invasion and all, they're becoming more and more empty.
You know, Ukrainian president blaming our president, our leaders, NATO leaders, Western leaders. We are invite Russian government to fight Ukraine. This is right things for him to say these things?
Yeah, I mean, on both sides are not being transparent with the American people. We're not told by the media what are the issues that they're discussing, what are the disagreements, so basically, the people who are creating, and again, it's the rich. The rich are financing the Russian politicians just as much as they finance American politicians. So it goes back to Trump. They're trying to create a distraction so that we are not able to, as sufficiently as we need to, prosecute and imprison Trump. They're in for a surprise. We could fight a world war and still put Trump behind bars. But that's, the rhetoric of starting the wars and all, that's coming from the rich trying to distract us from prosecuting Trump.
That's right. You are talking our ex-president. Viewers, millions of dollars we are donate in Ukraine, American taxpayer money. But We have in America under poverty line. So many poor people, they don't have a housing. They live in the shelter. They don't have food. They don't have education. But for the superpower, we donate round the world. Right now, Ukrainian president, Ukrainian leaders blaming American leaders, American president, and NATO's president is not right things he talk. Reason, American taxpayer money goes his country billions of dollars, and he blaming America and American peoples is shameless. This guy is totally hopeless. He do not know what he is talking about. American soldier training their soldiers. American soldier is there working with part by part, Eastern European countries, and they blaming America is not good things, is not a right things. Our president and our Senate and House, they have to be strong. They have to build their country first. Then they can do something else in overseas.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
His blaming Biden, his blaming the Democrats, NATO, that's part of the theater. He's a left of center politician, but still in the Ukraine is part of the world, and money is controlling that government also. So basically, what we need to understand is that he needs to be truthful with the people rather than blaming Biden and the Democrats and the United States and NATO. Let him start blaming the rich, who he knows, and that's the real battle. He knows that if we in America are not doing something we should be doing, the only reason for that is because the rich are stopping us. So he needs to change his message. No, it's wrong to blame Biden and the Democrats for what the rich are doing.
George, not only Eastern Europe, you're going to see the Asia, in Middle East and Ethiopia, Mali, what is going on right now. Where our American president and American money goes, so many countries. We help so many countries, but still is not enough. Our government, helping the Saudi Arabia to fight Yemen, killing Yemeni people. And also, Israel support Sudan to fight, supply the arms, Ethiopian rebels. Okay? This is the underground news. And Ethiopian freedom fighter, they fight with their government, killing the innocent people. And Mali, army government take over the power. And they have, the European soldiers camp over there. They try to take out everything. And they have a Russian base over there right now, helping the current army government. Where United States gonna go? Democracy, we have to make it. Country have to make it. Country leaders have to make it. If everything, American people, American senator, and American White House and leader have to do what their job, man. George?
Yeah, and so so you cited various military conflicts throughout the world, Asia, different parts of the world, and think about it. We here in the United States have problems with the January 6th insurrection, so the rich begin to this war with the Ukraine. They get Russia to attack or threaten to attack the Ukraine. That is what's happening in these other countries. Basically, those other countries have problems, and when good politicians, good people try to solve them, the rich in those countries band together and create these wars. as a distraction. They do not care. So we need a global awakening so that we understand, no, it's not the Republicans, the Democrats, it's not Biden, it's not Putin as individuals. It is the rich who pull their strings that need to be called out.
That's true. You know, we support Middle Eastern leaders like all kingdom. If America not support all kingdom, kingdom is gone long time ago. But this kingdom, they are killing their neighbors. They have a oily money. They do not respect human being. They do not respect other colors. They do not respect poor people, you know, and we are supporting them. America supporting them and secured them with our soldiers. Why we are doing that, George?
Yeah, and to the extent that we're doing that and we're fighting on the wrong side, again, you have to go to who is telling the politicians what to do. Now, you mentioned just so many problems related to how the politicians are doing or not doing what they should be doing. It has to be remembered in every case. It's basically not about the issue. Because Noor, again, it doesn't matter what problem we're facing. We have to, as a world, understand that the way we evolve beyond these problems that aren't solved is to target, to identify, to expose the people in power, to explain to them. For example, Fred Ryan, the owner of the Washington Post, he comes out with a piece in his paper today saying that the Democrats are in trouble in 2024 because of some nonsense. He's basically trying to stoke fear. So basically, these wars, we have to together focus. We all understand the problems. It's not like we don't understand what's going on. We have to understand that the way to solve these problems is to start talking about getting the rich to stop controlling the world. We have to deny the rich their power to influence, to control our politicians. Once we're able to do that, then we'll be able to make much greater progress throughout the entire world.
Do you remember few weeks ago, Biden told American people, we do not send any soldier to Ukraine and Eastern Europe. He taking care his commitment. This is the commitment, George?
Yeah, you're right. And Biden will say whatever, they're all liars. It's not Trump is not the only one. They will change them. And Biden will say, well, the circumstances changed. He should have said that to begin with. So they don't pay attention to truth as much as advantage and opportunity. But then you have to ask yourself, why is Biden backtracking? Why did he make that promise to begin with? And it's always, to take advantage on behalf of the people who are paying his campaign finance bills. Basically, his funders, his financiers, he's working for them. So if he's lying to us, it's because he believes that those lies are going to help the rich people who finance his campaigns.
Other crazy things. Republican Senate, they don't support anything Biden. But right now, they try to bring the bill in the Senate and House for fighting with the Russia, and they're going to support. Did you see? They are bring the bill in the House and Senate to fight with Russia, and they're going to support Biden administration. This is good things.
Well, you have to ask yourself, why are they doing that? The Republicans are still behind Trump, who tried to overthrow our government. So why do they want the war? Because they want to distract us from prosecuting not just Trump, but from prosecuting all of them. because many of them lied to the American people. Many of them lied to the American people about the elections being stolen, and that is what caused the January 6th insurrection. So they can actually be legally prosecuted for that. They are protecting themselves, but it's not going to work. I mean, if we had to go to war, we would. But my guess is because the rich know that we're going to blame them, for whatever happens and doesn't happen actually across the board. Then we can be, God willing, we won't have the war, and the Republicans in Congress are powerless. That they can propose it to try to save themselves, but it won't work.
That's true. But I'm coming to again our president. He told the American people he not going to be send anything Ukraine, but he should come again to say American people that if we don't do it, American going to be powerless, hopeless, and American administration is look like a worse around the world. That's why we are sending our soldier to Eastern Europe. What do you think?
Well, yeah, again, we live in a world where it's just no longer acceptable for one country to invade another. That's part of the past. So we have to remain strong to protect that. But my guess is that yes, we will be strong, we'll promise to be strong, but we won't need to, because people are beginning to understand that if we went to war, it would be because the rich are basically publishing, disseminating information that will create that scenario. We're beginning to understand that. So yes, it's great that Biden is tough, that he said we will fight if we need to, but people are coming to understand that because the rich will be blamed for it, the rich are that is why they're backing down. That is why they're thinking to themselves and saying, well, no, this war is not a good idea.
Very good. George, we are going to short break. Viewers, we are going to short break. Please stay with us.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Viewers, we are back again. Millennium News 24/7 and Today's America. Right now, we're gonna talk about our American middle class and lower class. We have a guest today, our good friend George Otis. George, in America, only 2% in upper class, 2% or 5%. All is middle class and lower class and under poverty line. our city, state, federal, they getting billions of dollars, taxpayer money. They do not taking care our middle class and lower class and under poverty. What is the job we have to do? Government have to do. Why government doing these things?
Well, yes, Noor, income inequality in the United States has been increasing. It's obscene how much more money the rich have that they shouldn't have, that they didn't have before. And then you have to ask yourself, how did that come about? And you have to go back, 20 years, 30 years when the rich began to seriously, very strongly finance the campaigns of the Democrats. Then they got the Supreme Court to pass Citizens United that solidified their control on our politics. So when they can control the politics to that degree, they control where the money goes, and it all went to them. So now that's, I'm optimistic because this cabal of rich people, who are also responsible for January 6th. I mean, basically, they're working with Trump. It's like Trump is their commander. They overreached. And so, once Trump is in prison, once the Republican Party is indicted and punished for supporting him, then we're going to get that money out of politics. And once we get that money out of politics, we're going to make everything much more equal. The poor are not going to be as poor. The middle class are going to be solid middle class, and the rich are going to lose billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars that they stole from the American people.
George, you bring our ex-president Donald Trump. He was 4 years in the presidency, but before, what they did? They did anything for middle class? They did anything for lower class under poverty line? George?
No, and that, Trump represents these rich people. He represents.
No. I'm talking about before Trump. Democrat is 8 years. And then before Obama, George W. Bush is 8 years. Before George W. Clinton is 8 years. So they did anything for America and lower class and middle class. This is my question.
Yeah, I mean, Noor, they passed healthcare. They did some things, but they didn't do nearly as much as they should have, because it's not that this problem with the rich controlling our government just happened. It has been the way things have been going on since Johnson, since the 60s and 70s. So yes, Bill Clinton, Obama, they were working for the rich. Had they been good people, good presidents, they would have exposed the rich. They would have gotten the money out of politics.
No one talking about the world destroy our one of the president, George W. Bush. He's 8 years. He crushed the world, all Muslim world. He is against the religious, against the peoples of Muslim. He destroyed Iraq, he destroyed Afghanistan. Our media, mainstream media and local media, no one talk about these things. They talk about why Biden bring the soldier to Afghanistan. They blaming Biden, but they do not blaming their own self. This is called America. This is called democracy, George.
Yeah, no, and we know that, for example, that with Iraq, they weren't responsible for 9/11. So like for Bush to kill 1 million Iraqis was atrocious. That's kind of like a Hitler, status kind of crime. And so, but it's not limited to that. You go to sub-Saharan Africa, you go all over the world, wherever there's conflict, it's because these people, these rich people benefit from people fighting each other. They stoke fear, black against white, rich against poor, young against old, Democrat against Republican, whoever. I mean, they're not going to like that. The only battle they're not going to provoke is rich against poor, because that is the battle that needs to be won. So yes, Iraq, Afghanistan should never have happened, and it's both presidents, both sides, Republicans and Democrats, just basically refusing to do what they should have been doing, should be doing now, because they're following the marching orders of the rich. But again, we can talk about these problems, and they're serious, and money is at the root of them. And so now, but moving forward, we have reason to be optimistic. Because they overreached by trying to overthrow our government, this seditious insurrection, they lost. It's like we're in the midst of a civil war that they have no way of winning. So come January 23rd, we're not going to be having these presidents in the future that start wars in other countries and kill people to protect the rich. We're going to change all of that.
I remember you bring every traffic with January 6 and Donald Trump. I know he did this. End of the show, he did bad things. Whatever good things he did, we are not talking about. Whatever he did, end of the show, he destroyed democracy. He is destroying whole of the world, like destroy American democracy. Not whole of the world. Whole of the world, all media, everyone knows what he did. But if we have a justice system, they can bring him on the court and they can punish. This is my talking point. But I don't against his administration or himself. But one thing, George, President Obama, when he came to the power 2009, an international criminal court authorized to George W. Bush to go Hague. But our supreme power, United States and Britain, blocked it. Do you know that? And Obama administration blocked that. Reason? America, whatever they do, they don't have to be answered. They don't have to be answered in the court or international court. This is called democracy. This is the job we are doing. We're going to do all kind of crime. End of the day, we're not going to be having any problem. This is the world we are running. Mr. George?
Yeah, you talk about 2009, the problems we were having there that we did nothing about led us to this problem now with Trump and January 6th and the corruption. But, you have to think about it in terms of the big picture. Trump, very ironically, has become a great blessing for the world because he messed up so completely. He made such a fatal mistake. It's not just going to bring him and his family and his accomplices to prison. It's going to destroy the Republican Party. It's not just going to do that. It's going to reform the Democratic Party, get money out of politics. So yes, the kinds of things that should have happened in criminal cases throughout the world for decades haven't happened because the rich have not allowed them to happen. Now, because Trump made such a fatal mistake, we can emerge into an era where we know that if we need to protect justice throughout the world, the first step is getting the money away from the politicians. once we get the money away from the politicians, then we can demand that they protect us, uphold justice, and create the kind of world they should have been creating for decades.
That's right. Your talking point is right. But if our politicians do, in America, we call democracy, and we call upper class, middle class, lower class. We never talk about lower class, and we never talk about property line. This is called American richness and American wealth, American power. We show the power whole of the world, whole planet, but we are not taking care our own people. And world is laughing with that. Right now, China, what they did, they build their country, they build their middle class, they build their lower class, also they build their under poverty line. Our Biden administration, Trump administration, and Congress and Senate, they didn't see when they go to the China to visit, they are just thinking how is happen, how is China build these things. We can build our country if we do not fight and we do not destroy the democracy worldwide. We can build those money, invest our country, and we can build it, but we don't do it. What is the reason, George?
Yeah, one of the ways that the rich keep the poor poor is by denying them, for example, proper education. So let's say a Republican state like Kansas, Kentucky, Senator McConnell is asked, we need more funding for the poor children in Kentucky. And he'll say, well, we can't afford it. And then when he's asked why, the answer is because he refuses to protect the rich. So basically, across the board, this example was with education, but with any issue, if our leaders are not doing the right thing, it's because the rich aren't letting them. But I'm hopeful. We're talking about the present and the past, but what we have to keep in mind and keep very focused on is that it's a different world. This January 6th insurrection essentially was a civil war that the Republicans lost. And so, yes, now once we're able to come January of next year, not have to worry about the Republicans blocking legislation on board. We're going to make the tax system much fairer, so the rich pay much more, so they give back the billions and trillions that they stole by bribing our politicians over the decades. So yes, we have both parties, Democrats and Republicans, have been horrible about the poor, not just in this country, but throughout the entire world. But come January, that's going to change. We're going to start doing things that need to be done and that make sense, not things that just make rich people richer. People are going to understand that the rich are done.
Biden administration bring the tax bill in the Senate, but Republican and some Democrat, they put down. Biden administration bring the bill. Everyone have to be paid their share. America have to be built. American people have to be, right now suffering. They have to get their share. But Republican and some Democrat, they block the bill. What Biden going to do? If Senate is not approved, Biden cannot do anything. George?
Yeah, well, Biden is lying to you by even attempting this. He knows that the Republicans are going to oppose it. but he's not doing his part. Basically, he needs to tell the American people, listen, these taxes, this tax increase is for education, is for all these good things. And he has to explain to the American people that the reason that the Republicans and even some Democrats did not pass that is because they are doing the bidding of the rich. As long as Biden remains silent on that, he can propose whatever he wants, lose as many battles as he thinks is going to help, or going to deceive people into thinking he's on the right side. But no, as long as he's not transparent and explains to the American people that we need to get the money out of politics to do what we need to do, then he's just lying like all of them are.
That's true. George, we are going to short break. Viewers, we are going to short break. Please stay with us.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Viewers, we are back again. Today's America, Millennium News 24/7. Right now, we're going to talk about American rule of law. George, in United States, law is for only one kind of people or all people? Did you understood what I am talking about?
Absolutely.
I am talking about in justice system for America, only for color people or what?
No, you're exactly right. For example, if a private citizen in the middle class or poor person would have done what Trump did on January 6th, he would have been in prison the next day. So
No,
yes,
he's not a president. He's hanged.
yes, absolutely, yes. The hanging is probably more suitable punishment for attempting to overthrow the government. Absolutely. And so that's where we are now. But I'm optimistic because again, by losing this January 6th insurrection, by starting it, by showing the world how dangerous they are, how in contempt of rule of law they are, they have basically destroyed the Republican Party and forced the Democrats to prosecute them. The Democrats, if they don't prosecute Trump and the Republicans, history and we today will hold them to be more evil. So yes, there has not been justice in the United States because the rich have favored themselves. The rich have favored, and basically because the rich benefit from having race wars, from having white and black people, pose each other, they will try to maintain conditions that will exacerbate that even. But again, this is the past. We're talking the present and the past, but I'm thinking now about the future. I'm beginning to really much more fully appreciate that come January 23rd, when Democrats have major.
You do not answer my question though.
Okay.
My question was law and justice system in America for only color people or all American? That's all.
Well, yeah, it's really for basically our justice system attacks black people and Hispanics. You know, this whole war on marijuana, on cannabis. You know, white middle class and rich kids were not going to prison or in jail for cannabis. It was black people and Hispanics. They do the same thing with voting. They make it harder and harder for black people to vote. So yes, the Republican Party is a racist party. They've been a racist party for decades. And that's why we need to wrest power from them and make this country just, not just for the rich and middle class, but for black people, for poor people, for everyone.
You blaming Republican. What about Democrat? What they are doing their job? The Democrat president, they're doing their job? Do you think?
No, the Democrats, the Republicans will out and out say, we don't care about the poor. The Democrats are just as bad because they're pretending to care about the poor and black people, but they're not doing what they need to do. So, but like, again, we need to understand that it's fundamentally not about either the Republicans or Democrats. It's about the people, the rich people who finance their campaigns and make them do their will. That's the understanding that explains why the Republicans and the Democrats have not been doing what they need to do. And that's why we're in a point of history where we're realizing that. And the rich are beginning to realize we're realizing that. So I see an optimistic future because of that change in dynamics.
I'm going to come another topic now for undocumented immigration system in America. You know, if you are concerned with the human being, you're going to be concerned with, if you concern yourself, you're going to be concerned with all human beings, equal. 70s to 80s, not 70s, 60s to 80s, immigration system was a collapse. All non-immigrant, undocumented people, you know, surviving under poverty line. What is our President Reagan did? He don't care what is they call Senate and Congress. He give himself, you know, special amnesty, special his power, special amnesty, and also special agriculture amnesty. He give the two amnesty his term. After when he left, from 88 to as of today, how many years? This country have over 15 million people undocumented. Our politician, Senate and Congress, they are playing game. But President have a power. Why President is not doing? Mr. George?
Well, of course, you know, as we've been talking about, the reason he's not doing what he should be doing on immigration is because the rich don't allow him to. But there's a much bigger lie going on here. You know, ask yourself, why are these millions and millions of people from South America, Mexico, across South America coming here? The reason is because our policies, our American economic policies, have kept them poor. We have supported corrupt regimes in those countries. So what is the answer to immigration? The answer is to lift South America out of the poverty and corruption that drives people here. You know, we should have been doing that for decades, and that's why I say the Democrats and the Republicans have been equally corrupt about this immigration system, because they know that they have not addressed the root cause of it. Now it's time, again, you know, once we begin to understand that, no, we're not, you know, immigration is not the issue. The issue is that people should not have to leave their countries in fear of their lives. People should not have to leave their countries because there's not enough food or not enough work. So we're going far beyond immigration reform. We're going to address the issues that cause it and create a much healthier and economically vibrant world.
I'm going to bring the another topic. You know, American structure, American housing, American restaurant, American cleaning. Who did it? Who doing this job? White people? George?
Yeah, no, let's start with the minimum wage. We raised it to $15. Let's raise it to 20. Let's make our economic system much fairer because
No. I am not talking the raising the money or anything. I am talking about non-immigrant people working all restaurant system in America. Everywhere, all odd job, roads, highway, bridge, and housing, cleaning, this kind of job they are doing, but they don't get fair share. You talking $15, they get $5. You know why? They don't have a document, they don't have a social security, they don't have a work permit. So what we are doing, man? They are human being.
Yeah, absolutely. And so again, we need to address the problems of their countries also, predominantly. But yes, the problem is that when we were having in good economic times, our business leaders who don't care about the law will channel their messages to people in South America. Come up here, we will allow you to work, and nobody's going to bother you. They're enticed there. And yes, I mean, these poor people, working for $5 an hour is better than having no job in their country. But yes, we need to we need to address the rights, the welfare of everybody here, and maybe the policy. I mean, what we need to do, Noor, is again, help the immigrants that are here, help all of the poor, black, or whether they're immigrants or not that are here.
One thing I'm going to interfere you. Last 2 years, we have a pandemic issue, and all American get unemployment. They are staying home. All American get unemployment benefit. These 15 million people, they get anything? How they survive? Just think about it. They are human beings. How they survive? State government, city government, social welfare, not did anything. Only community leaders, community people collect money and they buy the food for them. They deliver the food for them. Last 2 years in America. This is called powerhouse, George.
All right, Noor, we have enough money to provide jobs and healthcare and income for all of those undocumented immigrants. And the reason we haven't done that is because our politicians are basically neglecting them. Our politicians are listening to their financiers, their campaign financiers, who don't want their taxes to go up. So basically, it's the rich who are behind this also. The rich tell the politicians, don't do anything to help those immigrants because we don't want to pay for it. That's where we are now. And so, yes, so much good can and should be done on behalf of those immigrants. We have to understand that it is the rich who are preventing us from doing that good.
Rich also our politician. They don't have a guards. They going to White House. They don't have a guards like President Reagan did. I remember George W. Bush time, Honorable Senator Ted Kennedy, and Honorable Senator our John McCain. They bring the immigration bill. Almost passed the bill, but Ted Kennedy, he have a cancer, brain tumor. He died. This bill also died. Do you understood? Then Obama came. Obama, 8 years, he never talked about immigration system. He is from immigrant family. His father was a non-immigrant in America. Okay? He was a student. Anyway, he never talked about immigration system. Then came our Donald Trump. He talked about few times himself on the press conference. He like to do something, but just he talk about. He don't do anything. He do not do any job. But right now, our Joe Biden administration and their Congress, their hand, Senate, their hand, White House, their hand. They're going to do anything for these people, non-immigrant people? Do you think, George?
Not before January 2023. You know, what will happen is that after Trump is prosecuted and after people are paying attention to how evil it's been for the Republican Party to continue to support Trump after he tried to overthrow our country, after the Democrats win by landslide victories in November, then in January, we will force the Democratic majority to initiate, to do what needs to be done, not just on immigration reform, but to also address the root causes. We need to create South American countries where people don't have to protect their lives, you know, just illegally come into this country or any other. So, but again, it's a three-step process: prosecute Trump, then prosecute the Republicans, and then win landslide victories in November, and then not just immigration, but healthcare, the environment, education, climate change. We will then be able to do that because the rich will no longer be able to prevent us.
George, we're going to go another topic right now. Our American environment and climate. Also, our share we have to do whole planet. We are the supreme power. We are the person talk about climate, Samad on Paris, then Glasgow. What's happened? Is died those commitment, George?
Yeah, those commitments have never been sincere. You know, going back to Kyoto, Rio de Janeiro. I mean, like, you know, the countries say, oh, yes, we're going to do something. They don't. So, I mean, like, I have to have an answer for this. We have our capitalist system. No, I'm serious. When we go shopping to the supermarket, when we buy products online, the profits from the products we buy do not go to fighting climate change. You know, they go to the people who are stopping us from fighting climate change. So yes, what we need to do is basically restructure our capitalist retail system so that when people go shopping for their products in supermarkets, they're not buying their tomato sauce or their salad dressing from a company that's preventing us from fighting climate change. They're buying it from a company that donates, that gives 100% of the profit to the fight against climate change. And once this change to our economic system is instituted, this can happen within a year because it requires absolutely no government participation. Then we can have not just the resolve, but the money to finally fight climate change.
George, environment is big issue, climate is big issue, not in America, whole planet. We never hear in African continental they have a flood, they have a hurricane. You know, right now they have a flood. They destroy houses, they destroy the village, whole cities, flood and hurricane, you know. So climate is change, everything is changing. We never see Texas is our Texas, state of Texas, state of Florida, snowing. Right now, they have sometimes they have more than 2 feet. So their leaders, their governors, and state leaders, senators, Congress, president, they do not see these things. George?
Well, of course they see the more, and these. You were talking about the hurricanes, the floods, tornadoes, rising sea level, droughts, pandemics. Let's go beyond politics. We have to understand there is a God who judges us, and if we want God to treat us better, we need to be better people. What I'm talking about, Noor, is how we treat animals in our factory farms. Whether we're rich or poor or middle class, we all are conspired in this basic this indifference to their plight. So I think that it's not just a political game we're playing here. It's not just something that plays out, in Congress. It's something that we have to take on ourselves. If we want a better world, we need to start becoming better people. And the first thing we need to do in that regard is either reform or completely end the factory farm system.
That's good. Our program is end, George. We're going to talk about little few word for our White House. President have a lot of power. President can do whatever he want. His special power. President Reagan did. Okay, we saw it. President Reagan did so many things. Immigration, finance, education, health, wealth, special power. But what is our Biden administration? Biden, he was a 36-year senator. He knows that. He have a power. Why he don't use it? He can do the immigration and he can do the climate. Special presidency power. American people give him power, not Senate and Congress. This is called presidency special power. But our president, they don't use it. Our Democrat, they don't use it. It's too bad. Hopefully, he can use these things and help middle class and lower class. Viewers, our time is end for today. Please watch Millennium News 24/7 and Today's America. We are in all iOS and Android device. Also, we are on all smart TVs like LG, Samsung, Sony, Roku, Amazon TV, Apple TV. Also, we are on Amazon Stick, Fire Stick, Roku Stick. Also, we are on local network called Jadoo TV and Radiant IPTV, Star TV. Also, whole of the world, jagobd.com. Our social network address, Millennium News 24/7. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Also, our YouTube channel, news channel M24. Our website, millenniumnews24.com. Also, millenniumtv24.com. Our colleague, friends, they are working round the clock, in-house, outside, overseas. We are grateful for them. Their hard work, our viewers, they are watching our network. Viewers, whatever you are, stay peace, love and happiness. Goodbye and take care for today.